Hey everybody, welcome back to Cookie Gaming. Today we're playing more Disco Elysium. Thanks everybody for following along. You've been leaving a lot of great comments, a lot of great advice. I think I've decided with my first skill point, I'm gonna put a point into visual calculus. We've got a couple of visual calculus checks that we need to do, plus it seems like a useful skill. Alright, there we go. That'll let us achieve some of those skills that we've failed in the past. Now, last time we tried and failed to get past Measurehead. We explored a bit more and learned some lore, and we ended up in this pawn shop. And so now we're gonna take a look around. Ooh, military wear. Once again, I'm still, we're exploring the world. Each episode we're finding out more and more about, Revachol, the history, all that sort of stuff. It's been really fascinating so far.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps. The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently. This would make quite a statement in your living room.
I suppose so. Is that a street light?
Yes, officer. As you see, it's in perfect working order.
Bird's Nest Roy. Wow, what a name. Where did you get this?
It was brought to me to be altered.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property.
Yeah, I understand that, Kim.
You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
Oh, interesting. Kim has an appreciation for, the light, the artistry, the tech. That's fascinating. Kim, he seems like a pretty by-the-books kind of guy, but also someone who's focused on the task at hand. So whenever we go on these weird tangents, Kim's like, look, we're not here to investigate all these different things. We've got our job, which I appreciate. I think that's very much needed for our protagonist. I mean, I'm not going to buy it, but how much for the streetlight?
700 real. A bargain, I dare say.
Even taking into account the risk of obtaining the light, that seems a little steep.
There's also the matter of rewiring. But the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
What? Okay. Well, we're a little bit short. Plus, I don't know what you'd even do with it. I'm wondering, is there going to be a point in the game where you get a lot of money? Or, is it even possible? Maybe it is. I mean, we're still pretty early on. But that seems like an incredible fortune to me with my less than 5 real. Alright. What else do we have? The bust of a woman. The plaque simply says DEI. There's been a bit of a... that's been a political topic in the U.S. lately. And when I say lately, it's sort of died down, but,
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says, Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite.
That's what I was thinking. I think we need this boombox.
Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Are you sure this is all in working order?
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though I don't really like music.
No offense to any of y'all out there, but if you run into someone who doesn't like music, at all, that's kind of a red flag, in my opinion. Once again, don't take it personally, but it's a little strange. Shopkeep, this Stereo 8 approved machine here
is the Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel formats, 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
I mean, that's not bad. I'll come back for that. This is our equivalent of the Sony Walkman. What I really want to know is, could this device come in handy in my police work?
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not getting it for police work, but that could be useful. I mean, you could think of situations in which you need to play a tape as a cop.
Like a beach party, with sand and sun and seagulls dancing on the breeze.
Turn to Kim. Theoretically, could I bring it to a beach party?
Theoretically, yes. But we don't have time right now. It's generally murder investigation first, then beach party.
You're right, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Work first, party later.
That is the unofficial RCM motto, yes.
It's not, sadly.
Good one, Kim. Alright, well, I'm too broke right now, but I'm gonna come back for it. Alright, one last cabinet back here.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back.
Okay, we've had a couple mentions of a her, right? I don't really know what we're getting at, but win her back?
Yes. Buy something nice. A figurine. This sounds off. You shouldn't trust this guy.
Alright. Let's see the knights on horseback.
Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks. The kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Wow, knights on horseback wielding flintlocks. So who are they?
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
Now, we've heard about the Franco-Nigerian cavalry before. I think Gart made some sort of reference to them. So, I wonder... I mean, I don't quite have any background.
A long, long time ago.
Now let's look at the blue uniforms.
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
Are these royalist soldiers?
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but children like the bright colours indiscriminately.
And we've learnt a bit about the royal family from that weird satirical statue we saw. I'm piecing things together. Let's see the figures in rags.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
Revolutionaries, perhaps? Are these even soldiers?
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes?
Yep.
Yes, they are soldiers. Revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win.
Right. I don't know if it's meant to be disheartening. Okay, I kind of love this. It's impossible to win against the cohorts of capital. Ask my friend Gart, whose bitch it made me.
Okay. I don't like either set too much, to be honest.
Oh, man. Well, sometimes we can look at some of these historical revolutions. It depends on which revolution you're looking at. But sometimes the idea of the vast, unyielding mob is a little oversimplified. Especially the sort of liberal revolutions of the Age of Revolutions. A lot of the revolutionaries were pretty middle to upper class, even a lot of the mobs in the streets. Now, of course, there were a lot of working class, lower class, impoverished participants. But especially those types of revolutions, there's a big middle class element. That's different for different revolutions, but, sometimes the distance between the revolutionaries and whatever they're revolting against can be lengthened to make the revolution look like more of a long shot. Either to sort of further celebrate its success, or I imagine, in this case, to further sort of mourn the tragedy. Like, they were up against so much and they just couldn't do it.
He seems to have his own take on the conflict played out in perpetuity by these toys. Might be interesting to find out what it is.
Alright, let's try and find a cool figurine.
Why? What's this?
Nice.
A headless man riding a horse. A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say found.
What is this?
Oh, that's the Headless Phone Rider.
Who?
The Headless Phone Rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit.
What?
As you see, he's missing his head.
That's a curious urban legend.
50 cents. Bargain price. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations.
Guys, I can't resist a bargain. I know we are broke, we need to pay for our room, and this is a horrible use of money, but I'm buying it.
Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
That was a very smooth salesman's grin that almost comes off as earnest. You should learn from him.
Well, whatever, it was 50 cents, okay? If we find a bag, we can collect bottles and earn some of that back. Plastic Headless Fallen Rider sits atop his equally plastic bull, his posture indicating either desperation or pride. Comes as a set with the infamous fallen cap, for which he lost his head. The head is not included. Nice. I don't know if that'll ever come back, but I like things. Alright, let's talk to the owner now. Hey, Roy.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop.
I can imagine.
What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Now that the RCM is here, tell me, have you had any trouble lately?
I haven't had any problems myself, though some of my customers have complained about inconsistent law enforcement.
Yeah, okay.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travellers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored.
Does that describe you, Roy?
As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
I swear to God, some of the answers are hilarious. This business plan's all over the place. You should specialize, zoom in, recapitalize. Like, okay, bro. Quite the collection, Roy.
It keeps me entertained.
Let's try and work out if Roy's high.
Feeling warm
Oh,
and
nice.
enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on Pyrrolidon. It's tough to come by on the street.
Pyrrolidon. What's that?
A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
I'm not gonna beat around the bush. So where's a man get some Pyrrolidon these days?
How would I know?
What, Roy, I thought you'd be more open.
There's a note of indignation in his voice. Interesting.
No offense, but Roy did not seem like the kind of guy who'd get offended by my insinuation.
Those triangle patches on his vest, you have a feeling they mean something, like they're similar to the halogen rectangle on your jacket.
Oh, interesting. Similar in what way? Like, he's wearing some sort of uniform, or... Say, what's with the triangles on your vest?
I was with the emergency relief brigade. You know, after the People's Pile disaster.
I don't actually know.
Had to take Perolidon for radiation sickness. That's what you were hinting at just now, wasn't it?
Oh. I kind of thought you were just on drugs, man. I feel a little bad now.
He's taken for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
Okay, so what's the People's Pile?
A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities.
Whoa.
It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you, too.
I don't know what a particle decay generator is. I think that's some sort of Disco Elysium sci-fi. Maybe. I have no idea. Sounds like some leftists tried to build a nuclear generator of sorts, and it went horribly wrong. Wow, that's interesting. Alright, tell me more about the Emergency Relief Brigade.
We were an all-volunteer force, self-organized. Tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill. I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance didn't have the art to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out.
Well, you're kind of a good guy, Roy.
There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Years getting sick.
I feel I've misjudged you a bit. It must have been tough, radioactive cleanup.
There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened. And why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile.
Well, yeah, sounds like it went pretty terribly wrong.
So much disappointment. And early deaths. Cancer mostly. And we knew all that was coming even as we were cleaning up as best we could.
Damn. So, whose fault was it that the generator failed? I mean, it sounds like a big accident to me, but...
No one's. Everyone's.
So much bitterness.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, sympathetic, but sounds like a recipe for absolute disaster. So how'd you end up running a pawn shop?
The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died. Left me this shack and all the assorted junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Forburg as I can. Still in the same city, but...
Oh, interesting. Alright, we're getting a bit more of the geography. Roy's one of those guys who, he's lived several lifetimes. I mean, a lot of people do. You do different things during your life. But this is someone who, I feel like his life is very much overshadowed by that experience. And he's sort of just trying to live through it now. But, I mean, hey, he's got his own business going on. He's doing alright for himself, I suppose. Alright, well, thanks for telling me, Roy.
I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement, not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
I'm not gonna... Bro, this is... I mean, even if he doesn't need it physically, he's taking this stuff, like, medically, essentially. I'm not gonna ask him for it. I'm like, well... My character's an alcoholic. I was going to say recovering alcoholic. I don't know if it's been long enough to say that. But I'm trying to make him recovering. Will he? Alright, let's see. Roy, you might be able to aid our investigation.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
I doubt it as well, but... Know anything about the recent hanging?
I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business. Bad for everyone.
Yeah, fair enough.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
By the way, do you happen to have any guns, like the ones carried by officers of the Citizens Militia? Yeah, I need a new gun, Roy.
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
No shot. This is so bad. Roy, you can't be telling me that. I sold the thing?
The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
Oh no. I sold you my gun?
With Kim here too. That just sounded really, really bad.
No.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
No.
And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions.
Oh no.
The unhealthy kind.
This is, like, so bad.
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you.
No, I need to know. I feel like there's something you're not telling me, Roy.
You weren't quiet yourself, officer.
How bad? What was I like?
You were very distraught.
Oh.
You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you can't trust yourself with it tonight. And that you need the money.
Alright, this is becoming more tragic than funny. We heard... Well, when we talked to Sylvie, she said many things about us. But part of those things were, we were not having a good time. Okay. We've been going through a very tough time, seemingly.
When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your mouth and sort of sucked on it.
Oh no.
Then I agreed to take it.
Oh no, Roy. How much do... I woke up with 0 real in my pocket. So tell me, Roy, how much did I sell it for?
15
Oh.
real.
God.
The lieutenant looks from you to Roy, and then back to you. It's clear that he hopes this tableau might still turn out to be a bad dream. It's not, though.
Kim, I am so sorry.
This has got to be the most. Wow.
Dude, even my own thoughts can't believe me.
There's pity there, too,
I got it.
in case you didn't notice.
I got it. I'm not gonna say that. I'm sorry you had to see me like that. We don't have to talk about it anymore.
No apologies necessary, officer.
Was the buyer a policeman too?
She didn't seem like a policeman. Although she kept referring to herself as a pig. Which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her.
Okay, that is all pretty weird.
Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Who bought my gun? This is getting worse by the second.
Right, so let me get this right.
No, Kim.
You sold your sidearm, issued by the Citizens Militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
I'm sorry. This is probably the most embarrassing thing I've done so far, and I've done a lot of embarrassing stuff. This is really bad.
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
Well, maybe she's a vigilante, right? And wants to prove she can do our jobs better than we can?
It's possible in these parts of town. We ought to find her and discourage her from taking justice into her own hands.
I don't think she's actually a vigilante, Kim. I was kind of just coping there. Any idea where I could find her?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
I believe him.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
Oh, great. I think that's my brain telling me this is a long-term quest. Don't try and get this gun back immediately. Alright, well, I guess at least I know how I lost it, so let's talk about something else.
Of course.
I think that's it, actually. I've got other business to take care of. Okay, let's get back outside, and then I'm gonna see if Kim has anything to say. Because that was bad. I imagine we, Yep.
Yes?
Alright. I guess he shared his thoughts in there. I think... I know there was a check over here.
A crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter soaks in the canal.
Great.
2 ugly lines mar the bright countenance of the blonde boy depicted.
This is one of the checks that I could redo if I upped my visual calculus, which is now a 4. So that's pretty good.
Judging by the size of the impact
Holy!
and the parallel lines of burnt rubber, the cause was probably a motor vehicle.
First of all, great visual. We're getting our full Batman detective vision. Secondly, dude, someone... That's a crazy crash. That is some real daredevil driving. Alright, let's look at the crater.
Side slip marks indicated that the vehicle was traveling up the crater at 35 kilometers an hour.
That's not... I mean, that's not that fast. Let's look at the roof of the shack.
The black marks on the roof indicate that the vehicle vaulted from the crater to the roof of the shack.
I'm surprised it was able to get that much air. The sloping metal roof panel.
The panel served as a takeoff ramp.
I'm also surprised that it didn't, cave in.
The vehicle soared through the air, hitting the billboard and upsetting the posts. Then it continued its flight, taking the billboard with it.
Wow.
The sign broke the vehicle's fall into the canal.
Did it keep going?
The Samaran butter billboard still looks freshly painted, suggesting it took the plunge recently.
Was this car... Are you telling me that it made this jump, knocked down the sign, and then continued to drive? Because if so, that's crazy. How recently?
Within the past 72 hours.
Oh, okay. Let's look at the opposite bank.
Still speeding, the vehicle made a loop and vanished into the fog along the coast.
Wow. Yeah, that is crazy. Alright, what was the model?
There are 2 good candidates, the Caprice 40 and the Linear G22.
Okay, why the Caprice 40?
It's about the right size, and the tire marks look like they came from the skinny tires frequently found on that motor carriage. The Caprice 40 is a very popular model, with bank clerks, topping pie delivery drivers, secondary school teachers, cops, strippers dressed as cops, undressed strippers.
Wow, the list got a little weird at the end. That's the same model as Kim's car? Maybe, if I'm remembering right? Why the Linnea G22?
Very sturdy but light motor carriage. More likely than most to survive that jump. The Linnea G22 is not a particularly popular model due to its peculiar proportions, which the manufacturer's design team probably thought about for too long.
Okay. What now?
You'd have to follow the tracks to be sure.
Great. Another mystery that we can't solve now, but maybe later.
The lieutenant looks on, waiting for you to wrap up your analysis.
I've got this one figured out, Kim. Who?
Any theories about what happened here?
I'd say reckless traffic hooliganism.
What kind of car do you think it was?
Let's say same model as, I think, Caprice 40.
That's quite likely, from what I can tell.
He seems impressed. Yeah, we haven't shown great detective work so far. I don't know.
We're not traffic cops. Should we get back to the murder?
We should bring the driver to justice.
If we must.
Ah! Kim forced to indulge my weird side quests.
I'm not expecting him to get far with this, the lieutenant consoles.
And you know what? Fair. That's fair. I wouldn't expect it either. Alright. Alright. I think we've got this end of the map. So we're gonna head back around. I don't think there's anything else on this side. Let's see what we have over here. Oh, right, the tire tracks. Yeah, surely a sea monster. Oh, okay.
This Poslavantore mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection reveals 2 bullet holes in the front.
Oh, yikes. Maybe me before I lost my gun. Or, sorry, sold it. That's rude. Good mail delivery box.
The box seems happy.
I'm sure it is.
Eat shit pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also.
I feel you, mail collection box.
The mail collection box
Hey!
seems cathartic. Thankful even. So do you. You shudder. Then you swallow.
Hey, yo. Okay. Guys, it is criminal. And I know some of y'all are thinking about it. It's not happening. It's criminal to do that after being nice to the mail delivery box. Collection box, whatever. I need a bag, I swear to God. Okay. I think we needed to talk to Gart to get keys for the dumpster. I believe so. Who the hell are you?
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already?
I mean, more than 2 hours.
An hour would have been bad. 2 hours is mystical. You have truly wiped out all trace of yourself if you haven't thought about rum and lemonade yet.
Actually, should I be thinking about this? It looks like drinking hasn't turned out too well for me.
Maybe you haven't turned out well for your drinking.
Hey, yo.
Have you thought about that? Get a goddamn rum and lemonade to yourself, boy. Or better yet, lick that stain off the counter.
No, it's not happening.
What happened, man? You used to be cool. Go get your boring normal person drink then.
Cool? We've heard from Sylvie and now Roy about what we were doing during our bender. Didn't really sound cool.
Get your drink on and your act together.
Maybe I'm just a stickler. Alright, who are you? Oh, okay. You don't want to talk. And then this guy's still sleeping. Alright. Oh! That wasn't open last time. Let's talk to Gart.
Can I help you?
By the way, I'm gonna sing karaoke here.
Absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely in the question.
You wait and see, cafeteria manager. Absolutely in the question. First we find
Oh, no.
sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit.
Guys, I don't know if it's a good thing that me and Inland Empire are on the same wavelength. I don't know if that's great. Is the trash container out back yours?
Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Man, that's what I meant.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Yeah, you got some evidence in there?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out.
I'm a
That's
hobo.
why. And the neighbours too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you.
I wonder what this feeling is.
Prod at him and find out.
What if I told you I am a hobo? Or soon to be one? rummaging through that trash? Will you keep me out too?
Yes.
What? What was that voice? But I need those leftovers to survive.
Sir, I'm sorry the RCM is having financial trouble, but it's not this establishment's problem.
I'm gonna make it your problem. Doesn't it seem callous to you, guarding even your leftovers from the poor?
Callous? What are you, Kras Mazov? Almost all establishments in Revachol keep their trash locked. The whirling in rags is not special in that regard.
Is that Karl Marx? It kind of sounds like alternate universe Karl Marx.
Krasmazov,
Ah.
nom de guerre, was an economist and a historical materialist.
Right.
He was a leading figure on the Grad side of the Centennial Revolution, where he headed the 9-day government. Mazov is considered the father of scientific communism, Mazovian thought, or Mazovianism.
Kind of sounds like a combination of Karl Marx and Lenin, right? Economist, historical materialist, father of scientific communism. That is all Marx, like to a T. But leading figure on the Grad side of the revolution, where he headed the 11-day government. Now, it seems to me that this revolution didn't end so well, as in it failed, but that sounds more like a Lenin-type character. Maybe I am Krasmazov.
What are we talking about? Was this not about the trash container?
No, wait. Whisper and point to the back of your head. What if I am Krasmazov?
We should return to the case of your mistaken identity at a later time, officer. This was about the trash container.
Look, I'm trying to find out who I am. You know, disco rock star, homeless cop, leader of communism. I mean, any of these things are equally possible. Alright, well, Gart, whatever. We need those keys.
What for? Mazov? Are you planning to nationalize my trash container?
That's a good one.
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Whoa, Kim's all business. Good thing he's here, because I wouldn't be getting nothing done.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
Alright. Yes.
Hey,
Who, me?
yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
Again?
Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too?
Can't argue with that.
So, what about all that communism you've promised to build? Word on the street is you've woken up from 1,000 years of slumber, promising to erect a version of communism many times greater than any attempted before. Is that true?
Is this how we become a communist? How come there's word on the street?
You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie,
Well,
eat the rich,
maybe.
sodomize the land.
Oh, well, maybe,
and ban
well,
all people who have more than 25 real in their pockets.
not that.
Literally murder all human beings.
Not that!
Regardless of their political beliefs.
I haven't said that.
That kind of stuff.
That was a real escalation in that list of statements. I've said some mildly left-wing things, but none of those.
Oh yes, the mask of ambivalence.
They got me.
Don't deny it. You're about to rip it off and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that would devour and masticate mankind.
Oh, that's funny. The mask of ambivalence. Alright, you read me.
Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it?
What is gonna happen? What is this gonna do to me? Well, why don't you tell me what this communism is even about?
Failure. It's about failure.
Sounds about right. Failure?
Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped and pissed on. Until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world.
Oh, great.
You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers, million-headed armies of nations, and the love of your own mother.
Wow, great.
You against the atom, the charm and the spin, where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist.
Wow, incredible. That's quite a job.
Now get to work, comrade.
Well, I guess I'd rather opt in than opt out. I tried to take the fence-sitting option, and it said, "Oh no, we're not doing that." So I'll opt in. Let's start building communism, I guess. Let's hope it works out better than it did the first couple times.
Oh yeah. Get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready.
Hey, now wait a minute. I didn't say anything. Well, you didn't say anything about those.
Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs.
Oh, great. Well, I guess we're going Soviet style here. All right. Oh, okay. So, what that did was give us a thought. Oh, come on. All right. Well, I need visual calculus, so let me go and do the check I need it for, and then we can start that thought. I'm playing strategically, guys. I don't like that this is a quest that's been given to me. I'm not gonna do it. I swear to God, this door was closed when we were here earlier. Oh, it definitely was. What's up?
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garancy and Kubek. It must be his name. Garancy. Garancy Kubek. Sounds representative.
I don't think it's his name. Mr. Kubek, I'm here on official police business.
The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air.
We're making good progress here. You've got some impressive pots there.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn.
Oh, so... Wait. I can't tell if he does or doesn't understand me. I think he does.
It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
What a thing to say. I don't think I need anything else. Stay masculine. Smells good. Oh, nice.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue. You immediately feel drawn to the color. Blue is for mystery.
Touch it?
The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame on every side.
Push it.
The door does not budge.
Damn it. I wonder where this door leads.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads?
Well, I mean, we may find something pertinent to the investigation.
Yes. I suppose it's worth seeing if we can get in. Just to be thorough. As a side investigation.
The door and the main investigation will merge into a stereo investigation.
If you say so. Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Oh my god, dude, I'm picking up so many quests as we go. Gart, let me in that door.
Can I help you?
I've seen something here at the Whirling, Gart. A thing I need to talk about.
What thing?
Oh, a couple things. I saw a sign that said the mess hall is reserved for the Union.
Yes, not the whole damn Union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
So, unlike me then.
He hates the Union, but grudgingly recognizes its power over him. So he's directing his frustration at you instead. Retaliate.
This time, I will. It's a real shame you gotta suck up to the Union to stay afloat.
I don't. I'm simply providing a service, or really facilitating the offering of services to paying customers, and it doesn't matter. I don't have to explain myself to you.
We got you. We got you, Gart.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info.
Alright, how do we find them?
We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow.
Got it. There's a mysterious blue steel door in the back of the kitchen.
Oh, yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door.
Oh, really? Do you know what's behind it? Do you have...
No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frit warehouse, probably.
It sounds like you have been wondering about it.
Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Come on, Gart. I'm trying to get to know you a little bit. Look, I think you'd like to know what's back there.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals.
Huh?
And I haven't found a key, so good luck with that.
I'm gonna find it. And you know what, Gart? When I find that key, I'll let you come in that door with me, okay? Because I'm a good guy. And I don't hold grudges. Well, maybe I do, but yeah, whatever.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Got it. Alright, let's go out back. Oh, let me try and do... I think this is where the visual calculus check was.
There are several footprints in the mud,
Ooh.
left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here.
Still pretty tough. Let's try it.
Wow. Still not doing it.
Man.
You're bad at this.
Let's just go on.
What else is there to do?
We've had pretty good luck with checks so far, so I knew we had a bad one coming. All right, let's load up on the Marxism. I'm thinking, well, I mean, I don't have to internalize it, but why not? Let's do it. It's a pretty bad negative in the moment. But I'm hoping that it gives us something good when we're done with it. Oh. Alright.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags.
Alright, let's just use the key.
With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't.
Look, I know I've been on... Unfortunately, well, I don't know. I've been thinking similarly to Inland Empire. I don't know if that's good. But I'm gonna pave my own way. It keeps warning me about stuff. I'm too curious not to do it, so you're not gonna stop me.
Maybe you shouldn't. Of course you should.
Right.
This is your time to shine, Hobo Cop. Dive into that dumpster for extra.
That's right, I'm a hobo cop. Come on, I gotta get in there.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
This is like my natural environment.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Alright, let's start digging through.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however. Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers.
Oh.
As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
Ugh.
The victim's clothes?
Oh.
Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay.
Hey, that's actually relevant to the investigation.
Drop them in here, officer.
Removed when he was in the early stages of decay. So he was dead, but it was maybe shortly after his death? Interesting. Alright, bag him.
Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye.
Let's go for it.
A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste,
Ugh.
dripping with pus.
Bag it.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number.
Oh.
This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
Well, if I remember correctly, the guy who got murdered was some sort of company employee, potentially a security guard. So maybe some type of military background, or it could just be a military cosplayer. You know, let's be honest, a lot of security guards and those type of guys, even if they haven't been in the military, like to act like they were. So, might be one of those things.
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. Just garbage.
Alright.
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
You think someone from the whirling might have been involved, maybe?
Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and his establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
I agree. I mean, I think there were a couple of different ways this could have happened. Alright.
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container.
I don't really want to talk to Kuno again, but if we get nothing from Gart, maybe I will. Let's keep searching.
It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here.
You're covering something up.
What's this?
What?
A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something.
Let's pick it out.
Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Officer, is that your paperwork?
I love it. Sold my gun, paperwork in the trash. This is probably, I remember we talked to Sylvie. She said we shoved all our police paperwork down the toilet, and she had to unclog it. And she threw it out, right? So that's gotta be what it is. I think it is, but I don't know what this is.
It is. Look.
Yep.
The plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there.
Oh, great.
If you don't mind my asking, how could you have let your paperwork end up in the trash?
I think I didn't want to be a cop anymore. That's why I tried to flush my cop life down the toilet.
Well,
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
His eyes express a rare condolence. Then he picks it up.
lucky we found it. You should take stock of what remains, just to be sure some has not made it into the hands of the RCM's adversaries, organized crime and the like. There might have been police secrets in your notes.
I doubt that, but I'll take a look.
It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found,
Oh.
are interactable. Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
That's fun. Alright, let's dig in Hobocop style. See, I like getting the opportunity to use some of the thoughts I've accrued. That's cool.
Wow, an Armistice caliber 50 knock cannon.
What?
Half wrapped in paper tissues. So shiny.
What's a knock cannon?
It's a giant rifle, and it's very expensive.
Really?
Not as expensive as that fat string of pearls snaking around the rotten banana peels, however.
Okay, what's going on here?
And is that Cordon Electric's preamp with Electra F2 tubes? It is. That catches quite a price. We're talking 12,000. Easy. Unless you're into hi-fi yourself.
I'll sell it.
No, you won't.
Oh.
Because none of those things are real.
Okay.
They're not actually in there. All you see is food waste and crisp wrappings.
This is brutal. A cruel jest. There must be something.
All you see is a broken mug with a racist depiction of the Yellow Man frolicking in saffron.
Man, an antique?
Only in its social sensibility.
I don't want this mug. Alright. Great.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
Great. So I got my police paperwork and a racist mug.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
Well, I feel like we did something at least.
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your Copo type.
There are capo types.
Yes. Guess what's yours?
Some kind of weapon cop?
No, you're the sorry cop.
What?
The cop who's sorriest.
Oh,
Let's
man.
make it official then, shall we? Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here.
Okay, but what are the other capo types?
Oh, you know. Apocalypse, Superstellar, the Advanced Interesting Cop, Liquid Shadow Cop. But you're too sorry to say those things. So, here we go?
I mean, I've been opting into everything, so, I'm sorry.
Of course you are. It's okay. See if you can get something out of this, like info. Or maybe every time you say you're sorry, you get $1 million. That won't happen.
Oh. Wow, a lot to look through. So I think we're out of slots. -1 authority. Alright. I don't know if I'm going to internalize that one, but it's sort of good to have it, I guess. Right, we need to talk to Gart and maybe Kuno. Alright, let's take a look. I don't know what I'm going to get from this, but...
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
I don't know if there is a lot to read here. It's just, yeah. Alright, let's look at my notes.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Great. Anything else?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor for you.
Wow, I feel like I'm really getting beaten up by my thoughts lately, or my inner monologue.
Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart.
What are you... I mean, you know, maybe this is truly the story of man's hubris, right? Inland Empire is rightfully warning me, and I'm gonna... something terrible's gonna happen, because I'm gonna do it anyway, but I don't know what to be afraid of, so I'm too curious, I gotta look. Alright, let's inspect the toilet paper, I guess.
It's just toilet paper, sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
Well, let's take it off.
Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your finger and voila, the ledger now looks marginally better.
I love that. I just got experience for peeling toilet paper off my ledger. Let's look at the clip.
An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before.
Lieutenant, is this one of the hologram watermarks you mentioned?
What? Yes, halogen watermark used for adding information to RCM property.
Halogen. How do I read it?
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do.
For example?
All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
Great.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Alright, so what kind of information?
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
Like the address of your state? I initially thought your address? Maybe I can find where my home is, but now I think it's probably the station address.
How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that.
Now that'll be interesting. Maybe I'll finally get some information about myself.
Okay.
Or my past.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
Yeah, okay.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
Alright, what is in there? What are they about?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you.
It's kind of a lot, dating back to January of this year.
It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
That is a lot, right? I thought it might have been later in the year. Is 2 cases a week a good caseload, Lieutenant?
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it.
Oh.
Lest you start making mistakes.
Well, 2 cases a week appears to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure I completed them, though.
2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me.
Wow. He at first thought it was just a hypothetical question, and then he was like, oh, that was your caseload? Damn. Well, I burned out all right.
That's okay. We all do, sooner or later.
Some more spectacularly than others. I don't mean that in a good way.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
There's mention of a naming convention?
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name, a title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from Snoop fiction and Vespertine cop show staples.
They're written in capital letters, too.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
Wow, the square bullet hole murders. So, we've got our numbers, but these are like our personal titles or something.
Others appear more light-hearted. the guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the Ukar parlor. Even the rare Article 3 collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout.
I mean, I think only one of those appears more lighthearted. The rest, seem pretty brutal as well.
It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
Kim, my cases appear to employ some kind of naming convention.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
No, I mean a non-numeric one with titles.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
Why's that?
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
I seem to have named a case the Square Bullet Hole Murders.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself.
Yeah, well, you're dealing with that stuff every day. I mean, look, we're talking about cops. I think cops should absolutely understand the gravity of what they're dealing with. But imagine, like, a nurse or a doctor in, like, the ER, or in some situation where you deal with death sort of semi-frequently. It's kind of like, are you going to get... I mean, it'll affect you, but if you let yourself get emotionally torn up every single time you encounter something bad, you're not going to make it through your job. So, a bit of lightheartedness, as long as it's not over the top, I think sometimes is what people need to get through their daily existence. But, cops, I don't know about that. Although, frankly, the cops we're dealing with, the situation of the cops in this world, very different from our world. Our world, and especially, I'm in the United States, so quite different from that. Our cops here seem to lack quite a bit of authority. That is not how it is, IRL.
I pray his loved ones never find out.
What happened to him?
Rail spiked through the head.
Oh.
He died. It was a workplace accident.
I have to open an official case. Is there room?
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish.
Great, let's do what Kim said. Let's start writing some stuff down.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green ape pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity.
So we've lost our, there's different kinds of memory. I don't remember what they're called at this point, but we've lost our sort of memory of the events of our life, but we still have some of that sort of mechanical muscle memory. And I don't, muscle memory both literally, but also sort of figuratively, and that we're doing something we've done 100 times before. And so it comes naturally to us, even if we might not sort of consciously remember it.
Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place.
All right, let's cross out the ones we finished, which I think is just interview the cafeteria manager. We haven't succeeded in inspecting the body yet.
A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Ooh. Lieutenant, have you by any chance named our case?
No, actually. Any ideas?
Shit on a stick. I like the Hanged Man. Sort of evocative, but still simple and descriptive.
Great. That's great.
Hey.
That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now.
Agreed. I'm glad you agree.
I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Ooh. Nice. Skill point. Alright.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Can I read the case files now?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120111700, the next world mural.
Wait, HDB 41? Weren't those Officer Precinct
Why, yes, your precinct number is 41.
in HDB?
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files.
Oh.
It's safe to say HDB are your initials.
Oh, wow. Haram Darjan Bin Zakin?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I didn't think so. How long does it take to read a case?
It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start?
Let's see the next world mural.
This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible, only in the next world. For new people,
Whoa.
it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class.
Okay.
People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case.
Yeah, it's a pretty curious mural.
The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lectures have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the next world mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown.
Do I ever find out who came up with it?
The case files do not show you finding the author of the design.
Damn.
The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3.
First of all, this is, I forget his name now, but one of those guys that we heard on the call, I believe, the radio call. And also, this is we're just learning how this world works. This is, like I said, very different from the police of our world. Police department organizing a plebiscite.
The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options.
What am I deciding here? My opinion? How the case went? Or just how I think it went, and it may not be right? I'm gonna say, let's say keep the mural.
A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us.
All that remains is to wreak havoc on the middle class.
In any case, it appears to have been a rare case of civil activity in the quarter, and agreement as well. What do you want to tackle next?
Let's see the unsolvable case.
AKA Leslie and Burke, AKA The public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration.
Oh, really? Interesting. This is one of those things where it's like, there are 2 doors and 2 guards. One always tells the truth and one always lies. Except we have Leslie always takes his pants off and Burke always trashes everything.
The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which, in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm feeling... look, we don't flash passerbys, but we do kind of trash everything. We've got a little bit in common with these guys, unfortunately. Couldn't we just keep them off the streets?
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition, because that's where the action is.
Great.
Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years.
Wow.
It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
I mean, we know what Leslie's up to. Some public indecency.
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger.
Whoa.
He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're drunk out of your mind on potent Pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face. Then you proceed to beat him unconscious with it.
Yeah, this is not a great situation. I mean, this is not like a cop defending himself. Well, I mean, what it sounds like to me is that he's drunk, we're drunk, and we just went off on him.
In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke.
Yeah, so I think that substantiates my opinion. We broke our ledger and we started crying. Doesn't seem like a controlled case of self-defense.
He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore.
I don't know if that's good news, man. I mean, look, these guys, they're not good guys, right? But this is, I don't think that's the deserved punishment.
Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved.
Don't love that. Look, I would have been fine with, locking him up, continued public indecency and property crime. You know, you keep doing it, like, you know what's gonna happen. I don't love the beating in his kneecaps. That's, I don't love that.
Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing.
Classic.
The end. Do you want to read another one?
Well, after that, maybe not, but let's continue with the square bullet hole murders.
It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
But
That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead.
sequence killer?
Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day you may still catch the man with the square gun.
Is it actually taking me half an hour to go through these? I was not paying attention to the time, but I think it might be. Let me...
Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
I mean... Depends how disruptive, I guess. Sounds like they were assholes about... I mean, look, you could move your couch random places and have it be cool. If it's in right in the middle of the street, I don't love that.
Insufferable dicks. Young people are the worst. So anyway,
Hey.
you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it is. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations.
Oh, yeah.
They took it, too, where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, and drank coffee, because they felt it's intellectual.
Yeah, we're spending a lot of time... I didn't realize I was spending so much time going through these cases, but I think I've only got one more left, so I might as well finish. If I'd realized we were going through probably hours at this point, if it is 30 minutes per case, then I might have saved them for later, but whatever.
Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved.
I mean, it told me it'd take 30 minutes to go through each case, but I guess I thought that was a bit of sort of literary detail, not actual game mechanic, but that's on me. Did I ever catch those guys?
No, you didn't have time for that.
Ooh.
These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next?
I'll do the last one, because there's only one left, but we've been here so long that we've unlocked our thought.
Murder. Tum 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 at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Alright, you gotta tell me how.
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos
Ooh.
gang members when him and his partner JM, only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling
All
and
right.
get to the murder at the hookah parlor.
Alright, let's get on with it.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve, was doing it solo, said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister, was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
Was he a good cop?
No, he was awful.
Oh.
Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey.
Oh.
Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about.
I more meant like, was he good at his job, not like, was he a good guy?
Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Can you get high off it?
No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do anything.
No, really stupid then.
Yeah, so anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there, only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer. No one enters, no one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be?
I don't know, too much hookah? Fell over, cracked his head?
Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin. Movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Table's low, heavy, really sharp edge.
Yeah, it sounded like he just, did too much hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head, and died. I mean, we talked, I think, it's not, well, I don't know what defines a drug and what doesn't, but you don't get high off it, but you inhale too much smoke or whatever. That's not good for you. Too much and you might get woozy, lightheaded, just fall over, crack your head open.
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
He must have sucked a lot of it.
Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name.
And what was he doing there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed piecing it together. Next.
I think more than 30 minutes has passed. I've spent a lot of time.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
Alright, is this gonna take me a long time? Let's hope this is quick.
In the back, you see thin, translucent copy paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form.
What types of forms are there?
3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station calls. And the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields.
Got it. Station call?
These are quite sinister in turn. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing.
Right, this is all pretty standard. Field autopsy?
A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs.
Wow, this might be useful if I can ever look at the dead body without throwing up.
Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys.
Great, I can start handing out forms now.
What delicious power hid within this pathetic mess. You feel better.
The things that heal you are so funny.
The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copy of paper.
Let's look at the clipboard.
It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back, you see the embossed letters, RCM.
Shake it.
Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment?
Is this a compartment that I jammed shut?
The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center.
How would I open it?
With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board.
Yep, this is, we heard about this in our story with Burke. We shut it when we beat him. Alright, let's give it a shot. Nice.
The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee, slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just,
The other options are, wait, somehow I don't want to, and fuck no, put the ledger away. Hey, yo, yeah, that's a lot. Now let's slide it open.
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
What's inside?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Oh, it's not what I expected. What are these options? Let's pick up the ticket stubs.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there, too.
Okay. Let's look at the card.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Let's open it.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand.
Oh.
A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting.
Right.
Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy.
So that, okay, now I remember, we've seen the name Harry somewhere else. It might have been in one of the thought descriptions or something. I didn't know if it was for us. That's got to be our name. HDB. Oh my god. We're Harry. Right? I feel like that's got to be it. Sorry, I was so distracted by that discovery that I stopped listening. Harry, I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it'll make you happy. Okay. I don't know. Okay.
Throw it away, please.
Oh no. Is this what the warnings were about? Let's keep reading.
Your hand shakes, holding the card.
Oh.
Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me.
Oh.
I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road.
Okay. I'm not loving the direction this letter's going.
Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
Let's keep reading.
You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it.
I do have a vast soul. Wow, okay.
Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand.
Oh no, I think we just passed out.
No. Hold on.
Let me try?
To what? There's nothing.
Great.
Detective, is everything alright?
No. It's not. What? Wait. Secret ending? What is happening? No, wait. What just happened?
There is nothing.
I've heard this before.
Again.
Again. Nothing?
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery. Just blackout.
Okay, I think we're still going. That, for a second there.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you. That's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's that to the basal ganglia? That's a hilarious response.
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
Right. So that's what we're calling our ancient reptilian brain. That's funny. And who was that?
Who was what?
You know what I mean.
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow.
Guys, I told y'all, I'm just gonna keep digging. You know, I'm a curious guy. I like learning. I want to find out all the information. And that may not be the best thing for our main character. Harry, I think, right here.
Because it's always there.
Ooh. It's you know. Sounds... What's the word I'm looking for? The title of that thought is ominous. That's what I was trying to get to. Was that the X something? The...
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
Well, it was beautiful and not beautiful. Yeah, that.
Don't prod at it. It will start moving again.
Where's Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna lie here, I guess.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What's that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious.
What?
Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
Oh, Kim. Where am I?
The upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Oh, Kim dragged me to his car.
Drink. Water.
Thank you, Kim.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
I'm getting a lot of healing moments when I've got full health.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I think maybe water should be my primary form of hydration from now on.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
Kim, you're way too good to us. I mean, we are an absolute mess.
What happened?
Honestly, I've got nothing to say. Fuck it.
Good. You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
Let's just nod.
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
Wow. All right.
Mazovian
see.
Socio-economic.
Let's see this thought, and then we'll end. It's getting dark for me.
0.000% of communism has been built.
0.
Evil, child-murdering billionaires still rule the world with a shit-eating grin. All he has managed to do is make himself sad. He is starting to suspect Krasmazov fucked him over, personally, with his socio-economic theory. It has, however, made him into a very smart boy with something like a university degree in truth. Instead of building communism, he now builds a precise model of this grotesque, duplicitous world.
Great, so we've basically become a theorist. We don't actually do anything, we just write stuff. Oh, my dog's barking, I don't know if you can hear that. Oh. What? Wait, this is bad. This is all bad. I mean, the XP's nice, but I lose authority. I'm not so worried about that. But I literally just put a point into visual calculus, and I've just lost it. Alright, well, I'll keep it for now. But this might be one of those cases where in the long term I decide to get rid of this thought, because I'm not sure if it's doing as much good. Alright, well, that was quite the episode. We actually had quite a few revelations about, I almost said revolutions. I got my mind on communism. Oh my god, it's getting dark in here. We had quite a few revelations about what we've been up to, our past, all that sort of stuff. So our investigation will continue next episode. I think I've got more of the map to explore, and I still have to try examining that body again. So with that, thanks everybody who's been tagging along, watching all the videos. I appreciate it. I appreciate all your comments as well. You've been leaving some good advice. I'm glad everyone's been enjoying the videos. So with all that, hope you guys are having a good day today, and I'll see you all again next time. Goodbye.